Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the new episode of the Chit Chat with, and this time we revisit natural disasters. Now with me, of course, is my co-host Yvonne, and let's go ahead and get started with the Chit Chat. So Yvonne, this year we have seen it seems like it's every year now, but let's not desensitize to it because every disaster brings with it casualties. So we've got to think of the poor people that suffered through that as well. So there's been, off of the top and off the list that I have, there's been a total of like 4 to 5 major worldwide disasters, including the most recent one being the Hurricane Otis that hit off of the coast of Mexico, and I think Acapulco. Acapulco was the one that was hit the most, like that whole tourist area. So yeah, go ahead, everyone. Let's go ahead and get this started with.
Yo. I just want to say that we are set, hopefully, to do our 12th podcast. So yes. First things first. Second thing, yes. So my question is, are we preventing or creating?
Okay, so part of me wants to say that we are trying our best to be as least destructive as we can be. But then you got to look back at the Hawaiian fires that happened this past year. So I think part of that, the fire was because of the lack of power lines, the lack of maintenance in the power lines, and then the fact that they were just like careless with it. Of course, there's still an ongoing investigation or whatever, but for everything that claims in the video, it was definitely a power line that was left unattended. And it was, I think part of it could have been like it was hit by like a storm. It was knocked down, but the fact that they saw it, and then I think people called about it, and I'll go ahead and link everything like that so far that's happened with that investigation with the Hawaiian in the link below. But excuse me, I just ate pineapple with tahini. You guys know how that works. But anyways, so basically it was a man-made disaster because if there was no power lines there would have been no fire. However, it was a natural disaster because it was literally thrown by a tree. It was nature that knocked it down.
I think part of it that made it worse is because they had strong winds.
Well, yeah, that's what this one meant.
Yeah, so strong winds were occurring, especially during the start of hurricane season.
Yeah.
You usually have that, especially if you live near the coastal areas.
Oh, yeah, especially islands. Islands have air coming through everywhere. So
it becomes very busy. But since that's an investigation, don't want to say that much.
Oh, yeah, because this is ongoing
investigation. But I do believe that we are creating more disasters, high disasters. And we know for a fact that we have natural disasters ongoing every year. But I think we're just fueling them.
I think part of it is worse. Yeah, I think part of it is just global warming. I mean, this summer was abnormally hot.
Yes.
This summer. Of course, we say that every year, but I mean, no, we really felt it this year.
I felt the heat.
Like literally, you couldn't even go outside without getting burned. My arms are really tan. I wish I would have worn tank tops.
I left a candle in my car just so that it smelled good.
That's a good idea, but
that's a fire hazard.
No, because the candle was off.
I know, but like any light.
Yeah, you had the cover on the top.
I don't know.
I mean, I can see how it's a fire hazard, but I doubt it. But yeah, it was so hot that it had that candle wax melted. It was like if you had it on.
Oh, okay, and I just want to clarify that I did not turn on that candle.
Yeah, obviously, common sense. Literally, common sense, people. You don't actually turn on a candle in a car.
Someone question me. I'm like, why would I leave open flame?
No. I'm not stupid. No. I'm not stupid.
No, I'm not stupid. You know.
But yeah, no.
I'm just cheap.
Yeah, but obviously if you have a scented candle and then the wax melts by itself, which it would in a heat.
Yes.
Because, that's a good example. Because if a candle can melt that bad in a car for under 30 minutes, imagine the people that left their kids in the car.
I would park my car.
Or the dogs.
I would park my car in the parking lot during work hours, and then when after 5 p.m. when I would get in my car, like the candle was all melted.
Yeah, it was literally like if you had left it on.
Yes.
Yeah, but no, she didn't leave it on. Obviously.
Yeah,
you guys, come
obviously.
on.
Come
like
on.
you would have to be really questionable to turn on a candle where there's 16 gallons of fuel. With batteries and like whatnot. Mm-hmm. But yeah. So yeah, that's how hot it was this summer. So I think part of it is global warming. I think we've gone to the point. It was I think December or January, where that guy, there was a scientist that literally set himself on fire to draw attention to the global warming issue. Although technically that would be suicide. I mean, he's suicide because he didn't survive his injuries. He literally set himself on fire on top of the steps of the Capitol Hill. I'll go ahead and link it on the. I think I've talked about it before too. But yeah, it was a very sad situation because part of it was that scientists have been saying that we've already passed the point of no return. We're going to start seeing the ice caps in the north start melting because, like they said, we're past that point already where we can reverse it. So now at this point is we're going to have to start living with the hotter summers and the crazy winters, which apparently this year we're going to have a wet winter. Which is even worse because here in Houston, you put wet winter, it's going to be basically frozen bridges, which is going to be a lot of accidents because we already have people that can't drive when it just rains. So now imagine when there's ice and we don't put ice, snow tires or all that.
50 something car pile up.
God
again.
forbid, no.
Oh my God, that was crazy.
Wait, that happened here in Houston? No,
it didn't happen.
Oh, well, that
in
was
Houston.
Dallas.
That was Texas.
Yeah, that was Dallas. Oh God, Dallas.
A road connecting in Texas that it was a huge pile up.
That was a huge pile up.
Because it was black ice.
Yeah, there you go. That's black ice. Yeah, that's what it's called.
So people were just driving through it and not realizing. And then since it was foggy early in the I think it was
that was
night. Yeah, middle of the night, early morning.
They didn't know and they just...
And then, it was a huge pile up. So, which brings me to my next question.
Go for it.
So, I'm going to give you 3 industries and I want you to tell me which industry do you think is using or siphoning all of our natural resources.
Oh.
So, I'm going to say, okay, the first one is the fashion industry, A. The oil industry. And C, what other industry that I can think of? Oh my God, I'm blanking. I had another one. I really thought on this.
It was like, I swear, you guys.
I swear,
I'm my mama.
So the fashion industry, the oil industry, and the car manufacture industry.
Okay, and you say which ones are siphoning?
Like, which ones are using the most natural resources, earth resources?
Okay. You need to clarify because here's the thing. To me, personally, oil industries have never been like... They're unnecessary. They're a necessity, period. Because they technically are the ones that are taking most of like the resources, but they're not taking them and we're not using them. We're actually using them to like run batteries and charge everything. We're using them for energy, so we need those and gas included. So I won't say them. What the hell do we need throwaway fashion for? Because
Gucci bag.
Well, no. I understand clothes, like thermal clothes and stuff. Yeah, and then sure, you will make them fashionable. But there's a documentary too that I'm gonna link on here that is basically showcasing that I think the fashion industry, because it's a multi-billion-dollar industry, it's gotten so big. And there's nothing wrong with it, to the point though that we've gotten that it's fast fashion. So fast fashion, for those that don't know, is basically like, for example, Halloween. You get a costume, so you build your own costume, you get material and from other stuff and you reuse it, or you go and buy new material to make your costume. You use it for that day and then you more than likely throw it to the trash. That's fast fashion. And all that is adding to the material that you're wasting. It's ending up in piles over there like India, Africa, Nigeria, etc. We're selling them our waste so that they can take it in, because where are you going to put it? We don't have space for it. So to me, I feel like right now the fashion industry is contributing, ironically, because they're also super eco-friendly. They're contributing really high amounts to not only the use of materials, but the pollution of the materials. Because all that's getting into oceans, all that, a lot of it you can't really reuse. Whereas like the oil and gas, you know, everybody sees them as villains because of all the, you know, shady stuff that they do or whatnot. But I think like they're a necessity, period. Like, yes, they're going to take coal and stuff, but at the end of the day, it's like that's how we keep the lights on. And when there's an emergency, is you don't get solar power. I mean, you can, but what if it's cloudy? Boom.
So, okay.
You go to a generator.
And it's a good thing that you said that. Do you think that, because now they're creating hybrid cars and electric cars, full electric.
So let me tell you about the electric and the hybrid. I personally thought about getting me a Tesla. That was like my car that I wanted. Upon further, I'm a type of person that when I really get into something that I want, I'll research. And I'll research a lot. Like, you know, okay, I'll do my research real good. Yeah. So especially if it's tech. When I was researching it, I was like, okay, realistically, we're in Texas. Texas is not EV friendly.
They're not.
To drive anywhere in Texas, it's literally like 30 minutes each trip to and from. I don't care. Even in Houston, to go to somebody else's house on the northwest side is 30 minutes. We know because we have people that live in the northwest side. So part of it was like, yeah, and it floods here. So I'm like, part of it was in my decision making, I realistically advised everybody, before you even get an electric vehicle, more than likely try out a hybrid, because a hybrid uses both a battery and gas, a traditional gas, and then it's supplemented by a battery. So like if you're driving the streets or even the highway, it regenerates the battery. Excuse me. There goes that pineapple with tahini. Excuse me. So basically, anyways, long story short, my advice is hybrids give you the best entry vehicle to electric without fully stepping into the pool. So you're dipping your feet in there and you're playing in the little pool and you're seeing if you're liking it. I so far am liking mine. As far as like gas efficiency is really good. It's a Ford Maverick, you guys. I'm just gonna go ahead and let you know. It's a great vehicle. Anyways, but yeah, so to me, because we don't have, and then the other thing is our grid infrastructure, not even in Texas, but we already know in Texas that it cannot, even in the summer when it's supposed to last, it doesn't last. They keep sending out alerts about blackout and conserve, when the only thing that we have running is the air conditioner. We literally had nothing but one TV and the air conditioner running during the summer when they had the conserve whatever stuff, and that was it. And maybe a laptop. And that's normal usage. Like, we're not a big TV, whatever. We're on our phones. So with that said, I'm like, part of it is that we have to... Okay, as I was saying, so I highly recommend a hybrid vehicle because our electric grid system does not... It cannot hold everybody plugging in on peak times, which is going to be probably after 5 p.m. when everybody gets home.
Which is what's happening right now on the TikTok videos.
So yeah, apparently
there's a line to get, and then you have to wait like 2 hours to charge it.
Here's the dangerous thing about that too. How are you going to let people that have their phone at 3% throughout the day give them a freaking vehicle that's going to probably run out while they're in the freeway?
I told Karen I'm going to get a Tesla. And then she reminded me that I always leave my phone
She's the type
battery.
of person that leaves their phone at 3%.
It's 1%. It's still juicy.
And that is why we can't do fully electric yet. Now, if they were to do something like they have done, I think in Germany or somewhere in Europe, where literally you're driving on a charger road, where you're charging your vehicle on the road or the pavement that charges your vehicle while you're driving. Thus, charge on the go. So basically, would literally be like that. But yeah, so I think as far as like, is the car industry contributing to the pollution? I mean, it goes back to how are you going to run charging stations if you don't have like solar Because solar is not very reliable. I don't care what people say. Solar, if it's cloudy, which there's several days during the winter that it is not going to keep your batteries charged or running long term. So you once again, you go back to the oil and gas industry. Boom. But yeah, so as far as that goes, I think for this hybrid, I recommend people don't do EVs, do hybrids. Toyota's coming out with a whole line of hybrids. They're very reliable. Just look at the Prius. Ask me. I have asked so many people that I know that still drive their like 2010 Prius. And that thing has like probably 300,000 miles and it's still running.
I want a Prius now.
The new ones are really nice, but they've gone crazy with the pricing. Cars nowadays, starting price is like 40,000, 35,000. I'm like,
it's corporate greed.
I'm like, that's ridiculous. And then you see these buttons here, Yvonne? These are the buttons of the stuff that you can afford.
Oh no! Don't tell me that. My truck has a lot of missing buttons.
Oh God, your truck's a 2000. At least it's a full metal frame.
I am saving the environment by not purchasing a car. With my 2003
Chevrolet Trailblazer.
That uses V6. Is it a V6?
Yeah, they asked me it was like a V6 when I went to go take your inspection sticker. And I was like, yeah. Yeah. That's what it says right there.
And it throws clean air.
No. Well, actually, it does. It does throw clean air. Our electronics are terrible, though. Thank God I upgraded it with a Bluetooth radio, at least.
Okay.
But moving on. So, basically, do we have a plan, Yvonne?
No, we don't have a plan.
Well, then there you go, ladies and gentlemen. I believe that answers all your questions.
No, I think people forgot about, like, the environment. I don't think that's, like, number one on their agenda. Right now, like, there's a lot going on. And I think as well, I could just speak for the United States. I think for the United States, we have deviated from our common goal or common overall goal of the environment. We have several other topics that right now I wouldn't say that are necessary and fighting for. But I'm not going to get into that. But
that's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah, as part of the country, I think we have deviated from the overall goal of conserving our environment. And
I mean, I feel like our heart is still in conserving, and I'll still conserve every chance I get. I mean, we're Mexican.
The millennials are keeping it up, but there's only so much we can do.
So we're Mexican, so we've been conserving
because these
for so
young
long.
people, they're like, okay, anything breaks, let's
I'll just buy something new.
I'll just buy another.
Electronics, throw away electronics. That's another one.
Throw away electronics. I can't believe for a period amount of time, people were throwing away their headphones that were coming with the package. Like the headphones.
Yeah, like the Roku. So, for example,
you were
Roku.
too lazy to open up the box, lift the other box in between the thing, and you know how they used to store the headphones there?
Underneath. What was it for? Roku, for example,
it was for Roku, for any Samsung phone. I'm like, are you serious? I could have had those headphones.
No, they're actually pretty good quality. Like, I miss my AKG headphones. I couldn't find any new ones that were for my ZTE. But anyways, yeah. So as far as like natural disasters, if you haven't, go ahead and donate to Acapulco. They really need for the economy. Plus, I mean, all you people that go and travel to all these locations and stuff, if you want Acapulco to be back up and running,
because it was really bad.
The hurricane changed from a 3 to a 5 overnight. And those are the hurricanes that I think we're gonna start seeing going forward.
And those are the dangerous ones, because in Houston there was one time where a hurricane, it wasn't a hurricane, it was a storm. And then all of a sudden it changed into a category 2 hurricane. We had strong winds. We had extreme storms within the hurricane. And then we have tornado warnings. I remember that hurricane because I was, I think it was in 2018 or 2019. All of a sudden it turned from a tropical storm into a hurricane.
I think it was 2019.
Yeah.
I'll link it down to the...
Yeah, it was crazy. And then after like hearing Acapulco and all their stories, how because
Oh,
you got to remember that Acapulco consists of the town people and then
the tourist
attractions.
Yeah, and the hotels.
So the tourist attractions, you can recover from them, but the people that are living in small towns,
it's really difficult.
It's going to be very difficult for them.
Because on top of that, many of those actually work where the hotels and stuff is, and if those are out of commission, there goes your livelihood. Yeah, and I think they had I don't know the amount of like deaths. I think they were in like the hundreds.
Yes.
That they were still counting.
Because
I think
they were not as prepared.
Well, like I said, it turned from a category 3 to 5.
There was no warning where it turned into a hurricane from a category
3 to a 5. So yeah, I think extreme weather and weather events like these are gonna be the new normal. I mean, I'm not trying to be like negative, but I think those mentally you need to just prepare and be like, okay, this is what it is. So yeah, going forward, try to be prepared. Like for the winter now, me and Yvonne going forward, we're just shutting down the water. We're shutting down the water when the pipes are freezing, because I'm not dealing with the pipes breaking again.
I'd rather be uncomfortable for like a week than a whole.
And it wouldn't even last that long.
No, it's
like 3 days.
Yeah, but you never know, especially with this weather pattern for the last 3 years. So I'm very, very. One of my hobbies is to keep up with the weather.
So she only took one meteorology class.
I like my meteorology class. So I really like looking at the weather patterns, especially because it's crazy how fast it changes. So this summer was, I feel like this summer was really hot. Abnormally hot. And now like we're in fall, and November should not be
this warm
into the 80s.
Yeah,
it should be like low 78.
Well, high 70s.
High 70s.
Low 80s. Not high 80s. Almost 90s.
So it's ridiculous. But I think a lot of it has to do with we as humanity not taking care of the environment. I also believe, conspiracy theory. I believe that all the crystals that people have been breaking from the earth they're actually removing the energy.
You know, that's the plot line for Final Fantasy VII.
So I was right. So other people believe
the
in
Mako
that.
factories?
Oh my god! Because I was like, no, wait. Okay, so if they're removing all of the crystals, aren't they removing the energy that it surrounds? Because crystals, don't they provide aren't they created from our like natural resources like water, natural, like earth, water, thunder, because you could create glass
like that lady
sand.
that died in the beach, that couple.
Oh my god.
But yeah.
So that's my conspiracy
theory.
So if you're getting a crystal, make sure that you don't buy it overpriced, because they're coming from earth.
What? Okay, moving on. So just to wrap this up. So basically, this is a short podcast, by the way, you guys. So basically, to recap, there's the disasters that have occurred this year have been Hurricane Otis, which is the one that recently hit Acapulco, the 2023 Libya floods, and these are worldwide disasters that have been big or astronomical in numbers. The 2023 Morocco earthquake, the 2023 China floods, and the North American wildfires that we deal with every year, and the cyclone in Mocha. There's been a long list of tornadoes that have devastated the Midwest. And, of course, the Turkey and Syria earthquake. That I forgot how many people died in that one. I think that one was the biggest one with casualties.
Is that the one where they were showing, like, the floodwaters and the sand?
No, that's Libya.
Oh, my God. Those were horrible.
Yeah,
because,
that's
like,
Libya.
You can't even swim because it's both sand pushing you and water.
Yeah. So, like I said, I think going forward, the best thing you can do is just try to be conscientious, eco-conscientious, which means like if you can get a hybrid, go for it. It wastes less gas, so at least you're not putting as much gas. Plus, your pockets will thank you for that. On top of that, The other thing is the waste in products for the EVs, like the batteries. Once the battery goes dead, you got to throw or discard that battery. So that's another thing is like, how do we recycle things that are really hard to recycle? My idea was to shoot it into outer space.
What?
Like you grab all the trash and you shoot it into outer space.
That's what I was thinking too.
But then I was
like, okay, won't we use more oil to
the rocket fuel and
because
stuff?
of the weight, the rocket
so
fuel.
They need to go ahead and start thinking about...
Okay, I go back. Before we end the podcast, I want to complain. All these freaking billionaires that are flying to space are siphoning our oil resources. They're also getting a lot of... So that's why during the summer, there was a period of time that said... we're not booking any more flights, that the flights that we have are the only ones that are going to be left because we're not adding any more flights because we don't have enough oil or we're trying to conserve oil.
No, that was bullcorn. That was just the aviation industry.
No, I know exactly. So what I'm saying is that all these freaking billionaires that are using, I want to fly a rocket, I'm testing a rocket, I'm doing this, blah blah blah. All those resources they are siphoning, and the Kardashians, each one of them has a freaking
a jet fuel plane.
So I want to bring
we
that.
Can't solve everything.
No. I want to complain. Brought to you by Yvonne's Complaints. All right, now we can end the podcast.
Okay, but yeah. So to finish up, like I have my ifs about those billionaires because say what you will about the damn billionaires. It's because we use their money to fund scientific research. Otherwise, we would never actually be having scientific research.
No, it's the South Park. If they can share their wealth.
By the way, I gotta put a little. So I'll do a little promo for the South Park episode. But definitely, if you guys haven't seen the new South Park episode, definitely catch it. It is hilarious. People don't know how to do anything nowadays. You gotta pay for all the trade skills because everybody wants to be an influencer now or have their own little podcast. Brought to you in part by the Chit Chat with. And now for a brief commercial break. If you haven't watched the new South Park special on Paramount Plus called South Park Joining the Panderverse, I highly recommend it. It pokes fun at the fact that people can't do shit as far as trade skills goes, and the consequences of that, who's wealthy and not, and of course the current state of the media in general, especially the television and movies, where franchises are getting rebooted by having people of color or women as the leading roles instead of white males, etc. It's definitely funny. It pokes a lot of fun at the current state of the world as far as media, and I highly recommend it. Definitely check it out, and back to our show. But anyways, to close out the podcast, as far as natural disasters go, I think going forward, like I said, be self-conscious. Try to do your best to not be wasteful. I mean, you'd be surprised the amount of crap that people waste, especially when it comes to food and like adding trash to like the environment, which is like, for example, there's a lot of like challenges on TikTok, whatever, like who can eat the most cupcakes or what was the other one? There was one where they were wasting water. Yes.
We had the drought.
We had a water conservation. And you're seeing all these people doing stupid challenges about water. And I'm like, we're literally seeing the ground dry. And you're wasting to get stupid views. Like, see, that to me, mentally, it makes me wonder about and I'm not going to say the youth, because I've seen millennials do it. And I've seen boomers try to be hip and do it. So it's everybody. But so, like I said, just be conscientious. Do your best within your budget, because obviously, for whatever reason, they want to make things that are green more expensive. Yes. And that's one of the reasons why it hasn't been pushed through, is because anything that's green costs about double of what a regular, for example, eco-friendly forks, they cost double the price of a regular plastic fork. So I'm going to get the cheapest option for a fork. I'm not going to be paying $2 extra.
So what you're saying that we don't have to be conscientious.
No, well, we need to be conscientious. But I'm saying is that there needs to be some kind of legislation that passes that gives incentives to be conscientious.
Okay, so I'm not understanding this because I need to wash the dishes. And if there's no water, then I'm going to use plastic. But then you're telling me that I can't use plastic. So, executive decision, since I don't want to wash the dishes, I will save water and use plastic.
See,
and with that, we're closing the podcast.
Yeah, we're wrapping up because
I could keep never-ending podcast.
I could keep going and going, but yeah, no, I agree. So I guess final thoughts, Yvonne, on this.
So I would say comment below, what are you doing to conserve resources, or just in general what you're doing to help the environment. Also,
I drive a hybrid, so I'm already helping the environment.
Are you being selfish and buying plastics?
Would you rather buy plastic, or would you rather wash
and waste water? With that
Which
being
of the
said,
evils?
my contract is still being under negotiations, and we hope to see viewers.
Comment below if you would like Yvonne's contract to be renewed. I will be asking this every other podcast that comes out.
Come on, guys. I rely on this podcast.
It was like, it's my livelihood for my 3 fans.
If not, then if my contract is not renegotiated, I will do a why I left the Chit.
Okay, BuzzFeed 2016. Circle 2016.
Okay, so turn on the notifications for our next podcast, which is coming soon.
Okay, and this ends natural disasters. Also, don't forget to end it on a somber note. We're more than likely going to see 2 volcanoes explode sometime next year in Italy, and we'll have dark skies. Okay, see you later, you guys.